Hey y'all, it's Rob at Z Motorsports. Got me some new safety harnesses for the car, so I thought I'd go through a little bit on how to wrap these things. There's a right and wrong way to put them onto either your roll cage or a harness bar. So I thought I'd run through a little bit and show you the proper way to strap these things down. So let me move over to the workbench and we'll get a couple things started here. All right, now depending what brand you've got, okay, they're going to come wrapped up or whatever. But anyways, this is the shoulder harness or one of the shoulder harness for it. I've got one already unwrapped here. Okay, this end is the end that clips in down your crotch, goes over your shoulder, and the way this set is designed is this set's designed to actually be bolted in the back part of the seat. Okay, some of these you can actually take this off. This particular set, there's no way to take it off. If you look, let me see if I can get it here. This loop through this buckle is actually all sewn in place. Okay, so there's no way to get that off. So what you end up having to do is, if you're going to use it on a harness bar or on a roll cage, you don't want this piece on. Okay, now having said that, there are roll cages that you can actually bolt this to. Okay, if that's the case, that's what you've got, fine, you can leave this on, you can bolt it on. But most of them, you're going to be wrapping this around the cage. Well, there's no way to wrap because this is a continuous piece here. So you're going to have to cut this part off. Okay, best way to do it is use a hot knife. What I did is I just took a razor blade, razor knife, heated it with a little torch, and then as you cut this nylon, it's going to go ahead and reseal it. So I have one I've already cut. Here's the D-ring, and you'll notice it comes out and there's nothing else here. And if you look, that's nice and sealed up. Okay, if you cut it with just scissors or a regular knife, it's going to leave it frayed, and you can take a lighter and melt that up. But what it'll do is it'll kind of balls up and will get black, and it'll usually catch on fire and kind of look nasty on it. If you cut it with a hot knife, and I mean it's got to be really hot, but if you cut that with a hot knife, it'll cut it nice and straight, and it'll seal it right as it goes along here. So here's what we're working with. Okay, and now what we've got to do is we've got to put this in the car. So let's move over to my roll cage, and I'll show you how to properly strap this in so that if you ever do go to the track, they're going to not squawk at the way that this belt is put in, because if it's not put in right, sometimes they just flat won't let you run. So let's move over to the roll cage. Alright, we're back at roll cage. Alright, technically it's not the roll cage, it's a piece of roll bar strapped to my vise, but it's a lot easier to film it here than it is in the car. So we've got the shoulder strap. Okay, the seat is this way, okay, on this side, and here's your D-ring. Alright, I'm going to take this all the way off, and we'll just start as if you've just got it all hanging in your hand. So with the D-ring in place, on the seat side, you're going to come up from the under edge, okay, and you're going to want to pull yourself a lot of slack. I'm pulling, I mean, you're going to have a lot of extra. If you're doing this in the car, you're just going to pull all your slack through. But I'm pulling myself a good 3 foot through here. Anyways, you want to come up and then back down on the cage side or towards the rear of the car. Okay, so you end up with that. Now you're going to bring this underneath the bar, and then take your end back up through on the back of the car, just reverse of what you did a minute ago. Okay, and then you're going to go down on the seat side. Okay, you're going to want, there's one more wrap I'm going to do on this, but I'm going to pause here a second. You want this part of this D-ring on top of the cage. Okay, you don't want it down here, okay, because it's going to put a lot of leverage right here. You want it on the top. That way, when this is pulling, one, it's locking the mesh in, but it's pulling straight forward. It's pulling straight on this bar. If you put it down like this, all you're going to do is you're going to put undue stress on this. If you get in an accident, I mean, you're talking tons of pressure on this. It's going to jerk this thing, and it's going to bend it. If it bends it, it'll lose its strength, and it could fail on you. So put this up top. Go ahead now and work some of your slack out. Okay. You also don't want this bouncing where it'll move around on this bar. You want it snug. If there's a lot of slack in there, that's another opportunity for that to break in an accident. Once you got it set up, and this is up on top of the bar, you take your end again, and you're coming up over the top here and feeding it back down through that rear hole. Okay. You're going to take all your slack out of it. Okay. And there you're all set. So it gives, you're coming up, down on the underside, then up, down, loop it around, and then back down again, and leaves all your slack on the back side of the car. Okay. Now, with all this, you can do a couple things. You can just throw it and leave it flapping around, which is going to be kind of a distraction. You can roll it up and secure it with a tie wrap, so that way it stays rolled up out of the way. You can take your hot knife and cut this again, but if you do cut this, okay, give yourself at least 3 inches, okay, and let that little 3-inch hang down off the back. The reason for, if you cut it right up right up top here, it can work its way under and come loose, and if it does that, let me untuck this here. Let's say that comes out of there because you only left yourself just a little bit of slack there. It looked nice and neat, but all of a sudden it came out and it came loose. Okay? Some tracks aren't going to let you fly with that. Okay? They're going to say it's not properly secured, that the strap can work itself loose. So leave yourself about 3 inches or so that just hangs in the back. There's no way that can work loose. So again, we'll put that back through, and there you go. So again, this is the seat side, this is where you are, that's the back of the car. Do all your straps just like that, and if you ever have any reason to go to the track, whether it's SCCA, NASA, NHRA, any of them, they're going to allow this. Okay, you will not fail inspection with that strap in there. Okay, so hope this helps y'all. Be safe. Y'all have a great day.